Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion is Mitzorah, and it's usually a Torah portion that we try to skip over because it's filled with all sorts of interesting details about leprosy and skin issues. But there's a section in it that talks about the tzarat, the impurity of buildings, and how do we do that? And the simplest way to understand it, frankly, is to think of how a building that has mold in it needs to be cleaned out before a person can live in it. But if you take it a little bit beyond that, you get the question of what makes a place not just pure, but what makes a place holy and what makes a place special. So behind me is the synagogue building. This is the classroom wing, right? And so is that building the same level of sanctity as the sanctuary, for example, or is this just space? And I would suggest that I think over time, we realized that when we built it as classroom space, we've used it for all sorts of other things. And today it has a different kind of holiness. Now, if you come with me and you go around this way, you'll see that behind me is Castle Court Apartments, which you've seen on the news many times because it's a great place for parties for SU students. Castle Court is an apartment building. Is it pure or impure? Well, I suppose it depends on how you see all of those parties. But when a new student comes in, do they automatically get the reputation of Castle Court from years past, or does it change over and become something new when a new tenant comes into play? And that building gets cleaned up and gets used again and again, and so is its purity always stable, or does it have to be cleaned through and reworked from time to time? And I think that's what our Torah portion is driving us at, that sometimes that building has a level of purity that always is there, the way our synagogue building does. Sometimes, though, that building has to go through a purification ritual. It's part of why we do what we do at Passover. We clean all the chametz out of our house, one, so we don't need it, but also because we're trying to sort of purify our homes and get ready for the new freedom that comes with Passover. And so I think it's a really interesting lesson to have just before Passover, to think about not just the purity of our souls, but also of the places we live. And how do we recognize that, and how do we honor that, and how do we increase that? What can we do to make our places of residence, our homes, our offices, feel more holy? I hope you can join us this week. Shabbat services Friday evening are at 6 o'clock. Our Shirat Shalom singers, our children's choir, will be singing, and our fourth graders will be leading us as well. It should be a wonderful evening with lots of young voices. Saturday morning, we'll be celebrating the Bar Mitzvah of Ben Apedasano, which is a great celebration for our whole community, and I hope you can join us for that. On Sunday, we have our annual blood drive. I'll be giving blood, and I hope you will too. Giving blood literally helps save lives, and it's one of the highest mitzvot that we can do, and I hope you can come and be a part of that. And believe it or not, the Seder and Passover are just a couple of weeks away, so I hope you'll make your reservations as soon as you possibly can for our Passover Seder. And I hope you'll join us for the Seder, or if not, to have a Seder in your own home. If you'd like to be matched with a family who's having a Seder in a home, let me know and we can arrange that. If you'd like to sell your chametz, also let me know and we can arrange that as well. But I hope that you have plans to celebrate the freedom that we have at Passover and make that freedom something real for you in your own life. For now, I wish you a Shabbat of holiness, not just of yourself, but of your place, recognizing the sanctity of the room, of the building, and what we can do to add to the sanctity of that place. Shabbat Shalom for now. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.